My name is Thomas Moore, and I am doing an informative speech today on your credit score. Okay. I'm going to talk about why your credit score matters and what is really important about it. Have you ever wanted to buy a new TV, wanted to go on a vacation, or just start a savings fund for someone's college or for a new car or something, but found that you didn't have the money? Well, today I'm going to explain to you how you can get that vacation or that new TV you've been wanting. And the way that I can show you to save money is just by this simple one number, and that number is your credit score. Stephen Brobrick, the executive director of the Consumer Federation of America, said, "Your credit score has become one of the most important numbers in the lives of America." And I'm going to talk about why that number is so important today. First of all, the reason your credit score is so important is because it determines things like your loan eligibility. If you go apply for a loan, if your credit score is not very good, you're not going to be able to get the loan. So your credit score is going to make the difference between getting that loan or not. Also, it's going to determine your interest rate. Once you get approved for the loan, a higher credit score is going to get you a better interest rate, and the lower one will get you a lower interest rate. And if you have car insurance, which most people drive in America, your credit score is going to affect your insurance premiums you pay yearly with most insurance companies. So it pays to have a better credit score because it will save you money there. And last of all, some employers have even begun to look at your credit score to determine if you would be a good employee. They look at that and think it has a lot to do with how reliable the employee will be and how organized they're going to be. So Senator Block talked about in one of my sources about how important it is for your insurance and for employers. So now that we know why your credit score is important and what it affects, we're going to talk about what it consists of. Your credit score is determined by several different factors, as we have on this chart here. The first largest section is talking about your payment history. That is going to be 35% of your credit score is made up of your payment history. So let's say you make one late payment. That is going to hurt your credit score. In the U.S. News, Kimberly in an article wrote about things that affect your score and talked about one late payment could decrease your score by 30 points, which we'll see how big of a difference that can make in a minute and how much money that could cost you. And so after that, we also have your revolving balance in the green, and that is going to be 30% of your credit score. So if you have a $3,000 credit limit on a credit card, $2,000 on another, well then you have a $5,000 limit. If your revolving balance is really close to that, it's going to hurt your credit score versus having just a low amount. I think they recommend you have only about 10% of your available credit used for a really good credit score. So that's going to be another big area. Now the length of your credit history is only going to be about 15%. It's not as important, but it still is part of your credit history. So for those of you who are kind of new with credit cards, or if you've had your credit for a long time, your credit's going to be better versus someone who just got a credit card last week. And then the last two is only 10% each of your score. Your new credit or your inquiries, if you inquire for a lot of loans, then that is going to decrease your credit score temporarily. And if you open a lot of new credit cards. So it is not good to go to Best Buy and H.H. Gregg and then go down the street to this grocery store and clothing store to open credit cards, because it will decrease your score. And last is the types of credit. It's recommended that you have a variety of credits for the best credit score. So if you have a house loan, your car payment, and credit cards, and you manage all those and make your payments and everything on time, then it's going to help your credit score. And companies look at that and see that you're very good with your money, that you manage it well, and you can pay everything on time, and so they're going to be more likely to give you the credit you need. And so we have that. And let's look at a couple examples. Let's say you're applying for a home loan. We'll look at your credit score. Let's say your credit score is only 640 and not really that good, and you're wanting a loan for a house. You have a 30-year loan for $100,000, and your credit score is 640. If you were able to increase your credit score to 660 before you got that loan, it would save you almost $10,000 over the 30 years you pay on that loan. If you're able to get that 640 credit score up to 700 before you applied for a loan, your interest rate would decrease and save you almost $18,000 over that loan. And if you got it all the way up to 760, you could save almost $22,000 on a 30-year mortgage. Auto loans, your credit score starts at 620, and you'd say you're applying for a 48-month loan for $15,000, and so your credit score is at 620. You move it up to 620 and then apply for your loan. It's going to save you about $2,000 on your loan. If you get it up to 690, you're going to save about $3,000. And if your credit score is up to 720, it's going to save you $3,500. So just there's a little bit of an example of how much money you can save by improving your credit score. And it shows you just how important it really is and worthwhile to keep your credit score high or increase your credit score. It makes it worthwhile. And so we see that, and now you realize that it is very important. If, let's say, you were wanting to put some money in the savings, or you saw that vacation, you wanted that vacation we were talking about at the beginning. Well, that's how it's going to happen. Just in 30 years of your home loan, saving almost $20,000 if you increase your credit score. That's a lot of money to save, and I think it makes it very worthwhile to consider your credit score and look into what your credit score is and how you can improve it. And so that's why your credit score is important. And some of my sources that I had from my articles, I got Sandra Block had an article about insurance premiums. Janet Lacey talked about advantages of your credit score being better. I also used Kimberly Palmer from U.S. News to talk about the importance of it. And Patrick from CashMoneyLife.com talked about ways you can improve it. And that's where I got my information for my speech today.